Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Monson Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. It is Friday, May 23rd, and as you're watching, I am on my way on the bus to Guadalajara to enjoy a quick overnight to go to a concert at Teatro de Gollado, where the Jalisco Philharmonic will present a program of mostly Ravel music. I am truly excited about this. I've been waiting for this concert with much anticipation, so much anticipation that last weekend I thought I was going to Guadalajara. Last weekend, talk about a massive senior moment. But no, now it is happening for real. So what do I have in store for you today? Well, I recently had an amazing conversation with Sunny Rossy. She runs the Vallarta Garden Club here in Puerto Vallarta, has been involved for, I believe, the last couple of years. And she recently stepped onto the spotlight to provide me with a wonderful and very informative conversation. Sometimes they feel like interviews, sometimes they feel like conversations. In any case, it is important for us to be mindful of the fact that our city has been transformed beautifully over the last decade and a half by volunteers of the Garden Club. I mean, if you had walked around Basilio Vadillo some 15, 17 years ago, it would not look like what it looks like today. So stick around. Let's find out about what goes on with the Garden Club, what are some of their programs, and let's do this in keeping in mind that even though many of you choose to leave Puerto Vallarta during the summer months, the city does not stop breathing. The plants don't stop growing. So it's probably during the summer months when support and volunteers are needed the most. Take a look. Hello, I'm sitting here with Sunny Rossy of the Vallarta Garden Club. What a pleasure to sit down
Thank you for
with
having
you. I can remember every time I think about the Vallarta Garden Club, I think about Basilio Vadillo, some 18, 20 years ago. No plants, no trees, no nothing. And why don't we start, for people that don't know, can you tell us about what
history?
is a little bit of history would be great.
Okay. Vallarta Garden Club was started by Robert Price of Botanical Gardens. He started to create a little club because he was concerned about what was going on in downtown Puerto Vallarta and the growth that was happening. So he took it upon himself to start a club. That was about 15 and a half years ago. And he started, a lot of people don't realize that he started by renovating the tile park, which is appropriately named
El Parque de los Azulejos.
Sí, gracias.
Which a lot of people know just as Lázaro Cárdenas
There you
Park.
go.
Yes.
So that park was taken under the wing of the volunteers and Bob Price, and they started putting the planters, all the plants in there. All of that was done by the Vallarta Garden Club. Then they decided to go down the streets of Basilio Badillo and Insurgentes, and it kind of grew from there. They got collaboration with the city at that time and that jurisdiction and the current government then, and as we all know, that keeps changing every few years. And they got permission to put in the planters, and the planters have now grown to over 500 planters throughout Puerto Vallarta. A lot of people don't realize that as well. The city had agreed to maintain the trees and the trimming and all of the rest of it that goes along with that. And
How
it's
many administrations ago was
that
that?
was quite a while, and we haven't seen anything done. So everything that you see that we're able to do is done by Vallarta Garden Club, and that is whatever trimming we can get to. Watering, we actually have a gardener, part-time gardener on payroll with us, Adon, and he goes around with a cafeteria and 4 gas buckets of water and hoses. And that's how he waters by hand all of these planters. So when somebody comes to me and says, Sunny, these planters look a little dry, I'm like, honey, we only have one guy that's out there trying to keep up with it and water, and we're doing the best we can. It would be wonderful if the tienda owners would come out and throw a little water out there too, or pick up the garbage, but some do, like especially on Cassandra Shaw's block and that area, and Claire Garnier, they take care of their planters quite well, but a lot of them do not. So going back to the history, so it was started at that point in time. The city chose the trees, which were Primavera, and again, we didn't choose them. We paid for them, but we didn't choose them. Primavera and Ficus. Wrong trees to put in small planters because they're aggressive growers. So what's happened now, fast forward 15, 16 years later, is they have grown so tall and so high that they're breaking apart the planter boxes. And any hurricane or high winds that we've had, and we've had 2 since I've been here in 4.5 years, are toppling the trees over. In order to trim any of these trees, you have to have a permit. Any dead trees, you have to have a permit. The city will not provide us permits to go in and trim because it takes a topper now, unless we've applied for one. But they will not let Paseo Badillo be closed down, so because it closes the street down for the
Of
full day.
course.
But we're just doing the best we can. If the tree is dead and it falls over on a car or a pedestrian, then we can take it down. You cut it
Now,
up.
at
So
some point, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Okay, at some point you separated from the botanical garden and became your own entity. Is that correct?
We did. I don't know exactly when that happened. I think he set it up that way to be a separate entity. We are a approved Mexican charity, so we have done all of the things that we've needed to do to have that recognition, and that's been done some years ago. So we continue with that. We pay our taxes. We report. Everything is done, and that we're able to do is done through charity and through donations. We recently won an award, first time in the 16 years that we have been in operation, and that was just this past about 3 months ago from the city. So we were recognized from the city as they were giving us an award saying they're thankful to us for the things that we have accomplished and for taking care of the trees and the plants around the city. So that was nice.
You know, it must be nice to be, as far as I know, the only charitable organization in Puerto Vallarta that has plants as a focus. But even so, it must be challenging to prosper financially and to get enough volunteers in a city that is just oozing,
Inundated.
teeming
What's another one?
with with opportunities for people to get involved.
Good word.
What how do you get the word around? What are your biggest challenges right now?
Donations,
Donations.
memberships. We have over 10,500 followers on Facebook right now. My biggest challenge when I came on board over a year ago, well, actually, I came on board a couple years ago, but became Presidente a year ago. And it was to bring in the future. And the future to me are the younger crowd. So you've met Zoni and you've met Nick, and in talking with them, that was their mission. I'm like, hey guys, I need you to be me in a few years. I need you to bring in the people who are coming here that are going wireless and working wireless from home and all of that. And so we started collaborating what we can do to bring in more fresh people because, all of the group that had been there had been here for 16 years and they're really retiring. And I wanted to get a fresh perspective. And so they've really been helping me with that. So what's happening is through Facebook, through doing things like this with you, CPS News, the things that we are doing. It gets the word out there and
Of
it
course.
creates the excitement. And that's what it's all about, is creating excitement in the community that we're a viable and functioning charity organization, that we have fun. And that's one of the reasons why we did our kickoff party at La Bistro. We were the first party there. And our gala, having fun with that. And we'll talk about that in a second. But since that's happened and they've joined forces with me, we've brought in about 20 to 25 new sets of 30 somethings that are wanting to work with us. And I think that's huge.
I think
So,
that's huge.
yeah.
Plus, you guys are doing really interesting intellectual things like wine and weed. Explain wine and weed to the people that are watching.
Well, a lot of people like to call it wine and weed, but it's actually wine and weeding. So I get people coming out going, "Where's the weed? Show me the weed." I'm like, "There's the weed right there." you know, we've been having fun with some of the names. We also have Weeding Warriors. Wine and weeding, it happens. We've just closed that down for the season, but it happens during high season. And it happens on the Isla Quale. And it was a necessity that we needed help with some of the weeding that we had there. So I make awesome sangria, and we have some wine and munchies, and then people come and gather together. We usually get about 12 to 20 people during high season, and I hand them gloves and hand them the tools, and then afterwards they're rewarded with a glass of sangria or a glass of wine, and it's really quite fun. I mean, it's a social club as well, so we want to have fun while we're doing the work and the tasks that are at hand. Weeding Warriors, that is done on Mondays during high season. That's usually every other Monday. That is where we're getting together on the streets of Basilio Badillo, Insurgentes, in front of Blaze, on and on. And that's where we're going down and weeding the planters. We're trimming back all the bougainvillea, we're fertilizing, we're doing those kind of things. Right now, the Weeding Warriors are doing painting. So I don't know if anybody's noticed, they're turning into a beautiful azul color. I've been able to get 6 planters redone, which runs the club about $500 a planter if I have to take it all the way from stem to stern and have a contractor rebuild it. Matter of fact, right across from here at Co-Joint Hotel or Boutique Hotel, we have a couple that need to be replaced across the street. And I have a contractor looking at it right now to give me a quote. But they're all being painted after 16 years into this beautiful azul color. And we got the city's collaboration and approval to do that.
Fantastic.
So that's been another big thing of my collaboration efforts, is to get a hold of the city and talk to the Parks and Jardin director. She's on board with us now, literally. So that's really cool because we wanted more Mexicana involvement. Lupita Basulito has joined us as well on our board, and she is the director of the Cultural Center.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
It's really, really fantastic. It's been a lot of work and effort trying to get to the right people to talk to and to explain what we do. The city has now asked us to help them with some of the planters on the Malecon, which is going to be a big effort for us as well. But again, everything that we do is done by donations. So I can't say that enough, is if we're able to do the plants and the things that we're able to do, it's because we're a charity organization. So please give.
That's wonderful. Now, you said the phrase high season. You said it twice.
Yes, I did.
And I didn't fall apart. I'm fine. I'm fine. I have this love-hate idea with the fact that I'm a summer warrior.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this humidity as much as anybody else, but I think it's important. And I don't mean, if I start sounding lectury, just weed me or something.
I'll cut you off.
Cut me off. No, but Puerto Vallarta does not stop breathing in the summer months.
It doesn't.
Do you guys stop your operation?
Absolutely not. People will say, "Oh, you're Madam Presidente," and I'm like, "No, actually, I'm the head laborer." Because when it dwindles down to hardly nothing, nobody helping me, guess who's out there still weeding and fertilizing? And I mean, I was out on the Isla Quali at 8 this morning. We were doing a new planter, and I had 2 volunteers helping. So it gets dwindled down to hardly anything, but it has to keep going because.
Of course. The plants
The
are not going
plants
to
don't
wait.
stop.
Exactly,
We have, and then
exactly.
we get flooding, and we have lots of things that happen, and there's a lot of things to keep on doing, and we do keep on doing them. And I do want to talk about some of the collaboration we do with other things other than plants. We're not just a pretty face. We do a lot of other things for the community as well,
Like
and
what?
we're very proud of it. We put in the shower at Vallarta Cares. We put in the herb garden at Vallarta Cares. We've donated monies to them for washer, dryer for the people that need that service. We put in the gardens at Mango Biblioteca. We repainted all of the playground equipment at Mango Biblioteca. We put in all the gardens at the OPC. We recently did a children's planter at Colonia Bucambilla School, primary school. What else can I tell you? I mean, we donate to Rise. We've brought in laptops to Mango Biblioteca. We brought in headsets to Rise. We collaborate back and forth between the charities, and for me, that's super important because it just gives back to the community, and you know, it's just a diamond. It's something that keeps growing. That if everybody gets together, and I hate to start talking kumbaya, but if everybody gets together and really puts that effort in, it's huge for this community.
Speaking of get together, what is, let's say somebody's watching, I hope somebody's watching and excited to learn more and maybe come out and have fun, even though it's schwitzy out there.
Yeah.
What is the best way for anyone that is going to be watching this interview to connect with you for both donations, but also, just as importantly, to volunteer time and effort and sweat?
Super duper easy. Go on to vallartagardenclub.com. And all you have to do is click donate, and you can donate. There for as little as 750 pesos per year, you can get a membership. 100% of our proceeds go right back to plants, fertilizer, all of these, paying for the gardener, all of these things that we do. And to donate, I mean, to donate your time, to volunteer, there's a volunteer button. And every one of those emails comes straight to me so I can reach out to you and say, hey, this is what we've got going next week. Or you can look at events like Music in the Park is coming up Sunday. It's one of the second to the last ones of the season. And so that's just how to do it.
Music in the Park, I have not had a chance to attend, but I gather what you're doing is you're getting local entertainers to perform for a small group.
Yeah.
People, I've seen photos on Facebook, people bring their own little
145 to
pillows.
160 people have been coming out.
Oh,
So
that is wonderful.
it's been really, really fun. And it was something that started out as a small idea just to kind of give back to the community and to kind of showcase what we do. Brought to you by Vallarta Garden Club, and it's on the Isla Quali in the grassy area that we created, and it is built into, as Georgia Derishori said, Woodstock. Puerto Vallarta's
Puerto
Woodstock.
Vallarta Woodstock.
And
I love it.
it's just been fun. So we have Eva Jimenez on Sunday this week coming out 4 to 5:30, and you could bring a chair, a picnic basket, and just hang out. It's no charge, and we do provide refreshments for a small donation.
Excellent. What other events do you have coming up?
Good question. We have De los Mortis, which is turned into also another huge event, and that'll be our third annual. That'll be November 1st, which is a Saturday, I believe, this year.
This is a Day of the Dead event that takes place on the island?
Takes place on the island.
Yes.
Last year we had 10 A-class performers, with Kevin Anthony being the MC. Was blessed to be able to have him do that for me, and worked all those hours through. And that will be all kinds of things going on with face painting, and we do world's largest ofrenda, and then we have all of these performers every half an hour playing from about 5 o'clock till 9:30 at night. The next one is the gala. And the gala is a very well attended event, over 200 people, and that will be taking place this coming January. I'm kind of hitting a note out there because so many people are doing things. January 22nd, and that's a Thursday. And I'm going to give spoiler alert: this year's gala event is going to be all about Down the Rabbit Hole with Alice in Wonderland.
Wow. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
This is so awesome. For anyone that has not been living here in Puerto Vallarta long enough, you would really want to see. And if I can offer a suggestion, I don't know if you're doing before and after photographs or something, because I'm sure there are a number of people that have not been here long enough to truly appreciate the wonderful transformation you have created, thanks to so many volunteers and donations and hard work.
That's a good idea. We actually have them on posters that we put up when we have events and so forth, and we have a beautiful video that we have had done as well as everything with it. But especially the Ilsaquali formation, because I wasn't here when we first started 15, 16 years ago.
Mhm.
But after Hurricane Nora, it was decimated. It was down to nothing but sand 3 feet high.
Wow.
And Guy Weeks of Isla Quale de los Amigos started digging out. And I was walking my dogs a couple months later, and he happened to say to me, and this is talking about manifestation, folks. I told my husband, he goes, "What do you miss after moving here?" And I said, "I miss my garden. I had 2 acres." And he said, "Well, you got the rooftop." 2 days later, Guy Weeks said to me, "Do you know anybody that knows anything about gardening?" So that's how it started on the Isla Quali 4.5 years ago. And here we are today. But I do have pictures and I should post those. So good idea.
That's a great story. What are we missing? What else is important to share at this point?
I'm thankful for the community. I thank my volunteers. I thank Paco for having me on here so that we can spread the word. It's just when you have people that want to pull up roots and move to a different country and start getting teary eyed and become part of the community, it's huge.
It really is. It really is. And Puerto Vallarta gives you so many different options when it comes to
Yep.
finding your own tribe and
Yes.
being welcomed in your own tribe. It is such a pleasure to hear you say this, and I want to thank you
You're welcome.
for all the wonderful things that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Anytime you want to come back, just say the word, and
you.
we'll wine and weave.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Sunny.
Okay. Awesome.
And that was my interview with Sunny Rossy. I hope you enjoyed it. There will be no show notes today, of course. And I will have another pre recorded broadcast tomorrow. I still don't know what it's going to be, but I'll think about it through the day and get back to you on that one. In the meantime, have a good day. And where are my screens? There you go. We need that one. And we need the other one. I don't know where the other one went. Anyhow, have a good day. And I'll see you again tomorrow for another pre recorded broadcast.